Hi, Tigo Venturi here with Keller Williams Realty in Albuquerque. Going to go over the market stats through May of 2014. This first chart we're looking at are the number of properties sold. And this is in the entire metro Albuquerque area. So it does include Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, Valencia County, East Mountains, really the whole area around the what we consider the greater Albuquerque area. And these numbers, obviously give us an indication of what's going on in the full market. Neighborhood by neighborhood, city by city, block by block even sometimes, things are very different. So it's important to, just look at the big picture here, get an idea what's trending in our market. However, if you really want to get down to what's going on in your neighborhood, you need to talk to a realtor and have them really dial in those numbers for you. And of course, we can help you with that. So median price, we're looking at sold properties right now. These are the number of properties that have sold in our market. This shows the count of number of properties. For May of this year, we had 938 versus May of last year, 1,055. So we're actually down a little bit in the number of properties sold. However, if we go to the pendings, which are the homes that went under contract in May, were actually up substantially, and we'll look at that chart in a moment. Sale price, median sale price, these are homes that actually closed and sold, and these take the median. So of course the middle between highest and lowest priced homes, and you can kind of see we're staying kind of in this, I would say, flat over the last couple of years. Right now that's it's a little bit up, not much. Now I did look at some of the national numbers, and I'll show you that the bigger picture numbers, but we do seem to be trending in this kind of 1%, maybe 2% appreciation in the Albuquerque market. Let's jump to kind of the indicators of where we're going. Month supply of inventory, you can see we're actually low, so lower than we were. We were up in this kind of 11-month supply of homes. And when we talk month supply of inventory, we're talking about if no other homes came on the market and the same number of buyers were in the market, how soon would it take, or how long would it take before we run out of homes? And in this case, we're kind of in this 5 to 6 months range, and that's generally considered healthy. And I do feel we're in a healthy, kind of steady market, maybe still recovering, I would say, but things seem to be trending in the right direction. So let's look at the one chart that I thought was really, really nice to see, and I got to find it here. Let's see, pendings right here. This was the number I wanted to show. So this is the number of homes that actually went under contract, meaning they got an offer, accepted contract. We're in escrow period now, and we actually had a fair increase from, not huge, but about 100 more homes this year versus last year. And so again, I think there's still a good trend in the market moving forward. The other thing I did want to show were the number of properties on the market. And this one mostly because I wanted to point out the bank-owned or the foreclosure homes. This chart on the bottom here, you can see on this chart it has this kind of lower line here, and this shows the number of bank-owned or foreclosure homes in our market, and that continues to decrease, which again, that's a healthy sign, I feel, moving forward. I'm going to jump to another page here, and this chart, I'm going to pause just for a moment and move this. So what we're looking at here is a year-over-year price appreciation. This one I believe is through April nationwide. And the darker number, or the darker colored in states, the darker green, these are states that have had 10% or higher appreciation. The smaller numbers are the lighter ones are the smaller numbers, states that haven't had quite as strong appreciation, 5% or less. And unfortunately, we're kind of one of the lower ones. We're at 1.6% appreciation. And that's not unusual for New Mexico. We don't seem to have the big swings one way or another. And it's interesting because the ones that have had the big upswings are the ones that had the hardest fall back in 2008 when things kind of really went south. So, Nevada, Arizona, California, Florida, and Georgia. The other chart I wanted to show you was the Case-Shiller Home Price Index, and the only thing I wanted to point out here is if you go to pre-bubble, which is 2004, bubble, come back down, and we kind of down at the bottom there. Obviously, we've kind of come out of that bottom now. We're moving back up, but we're back to that pre-bubble level. Basically, our median, or excuse me, average prices are right at about where we were pre-bubble in 2004. I thought that was an interesting statistic. Mortgage rates, let's just talk about this real quick. Mortgage rates still low. We're kind of in this 4 to 4.25, maybe as high as 4.5. You know, in mortgage rates, you got to be careful when you hear quotes on mortgage rates. They are very specific to the person, to the property, and the type of program. But we are kind of in this 4 to, let's say, 4.5 range right now. And the prediction for mortgage rates going forward is that they are going to go up. And we have had a little bit of pullback in the last month or so, but every indication is that they are going to be going up, and sometime next year we'll probably be looking at 5% interest rates. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions on real estate, you can give us a shout or talk to your realtor. This is Tigo Venturi with Keller Williams Realty and the Venturi team. Take care.